and protect the QB.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Wrestling Talk Radio. I had to give y'all that Trick Williams, man. I had to put that, that Trick Williams entrance theme right now is the hottest one going off right now, man. I had to give y'all that Trick Williams theme, man. Welcome to Wrestling Talk Radio. Let me get my studio audience. Thank you. Sorry for the late start, ladies and gentlemen, but here we are, live here on YouTube. Make sure y'all go subscribe to that YouTube channel while after the video, after the show. Make sure y'all go subscribe so that way y'all can hit that subscribe button so y'all can get notification when we go live or when I add content to the show. Also, be sure to follow us on all the socials: Facebook, Instagram, and follow us on Twitter as well, where I keep everything updated with the latest and greatest going on wrestling. I post results from all Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, Rampage, Collision, all of them. I post all results for all of them. So make sure y'all follow the socials for all of those. Quick shout out as always, Fuego Beats Radio. Shout out to my homeboy Fuego Beats. Also shout out to my homeboy Sean. Sean, my heart is still with you, man. I know the funeral was yesterday, I believe, for your cousin, man. Shout out to him and YBF Boxing, your boxing fix. YBF, your boxing fix. Okay, I just been making sure I said it right. Make sure y'all go like him on Instagram, man. If you're a big boxing fan, he keeps everything updated. I know he's pretty much on a hiatus right now because of what happened with his cousin. So, Sean, take all the time you need, brother. Our hearts are with you, man. We're keeping you in our prayers, man. So, anyways, let's get started, man. Another edition of Wrestling Talk Radio is on the way. We got a lot to discuss. A lot happened over the past weekend. A lot happened this week. So, we're going to get everything caught up with what happened. But first, as always, got to introduce my co-host here. First of all, we're going to start off, and my boy Lucas, I got you right this time, man. So I got to bring you properly on. Excuse me.
That's all I ask for. That's all I ask for.
Simple things in life.
I swear. How's everyone doing?
Welcome. And then my homeboy, Chris, I got to give you, hold on. I did you wrong last week, so I'm going to fix you this week.
No PI?
Let me start over from again. I got to. Chris got so hyped he had to get up. Chris got so hyped he had to get up.
By any means necessary, power to the nation.
Yo, tell me don't that make you want to go outside and whoop somebody's ass. Just don't. What was that thing? I forgot it was on Comedy Central or something. They said, you ever had your ass whooped to a soundtrack?
Wow. That's a new one. That's a new one. You had that happen.
And you got the song playing in the background.
You had that happen to you. You have bitch-made tendencies. I'm sorry.
Oh, shit, man. But anyways, man. Chris, how you doing, man? How's it going, fam?
Man, I can't complain, man. I can't complain. Long day of work. How about y'all, man? How's everybody doing? Hey, shout out to my band Rated R Superstar for having a nice debut in a half arena. You know how that goes.
Shout out. That's the big. Let's get into that.
And speaking of debuts, can we talk about how his historical debut on AEW got outshined by NXT?
We're gonna get to that in a minute. Let me get into that in a minute. So let's start with what happened over the weekend. First of all, we're gonna get to that in a minute. Let's start on Saturday with NXT No Mercy. So we'll start off with that on Saturday.
I didn't watch, so I'm at to watch. I'm at to listen to this. I didn't watch.
I watched.
So
we know.
Actually, it was a decent. it's not takeover quality like we discussed last week. The takeover days are pretty much gone, but I mean, I'm gonna say this: they are definitely trying. They are definitely, and I actually enjoyed it from start to finish. I actually did enjoy it. I enjoyed the results. The matches were damn good. I like what NXT is like. They do make every storyline feel important, like they did in old NXT. Like when NXT used to have the 5 or 6 matches during the show, every single match had a story behind it, and that's what made it feel like personal. This No Mercy had a kind of almost a takeover kind of feel because every match had a storyline going. Well, except for the NXT Tag Team title match, that kind of was just thrown together. Tony D'Angelo, Channing State Lorenzo, they end up retaining their titles at the NXT Tag Team titles at No Mercy. That really didn't have it. That was kind of a match that was thrown together right before the event last Tuesday. Then let's get to the other. Yeah, we'll get to the smaller matches, and then we'll get to the bigger matches here in just a minute. Noam Dar defended the Heritage Cup trophy. He beat Butch in that match, so he retained that. And also Becky Lynch. Baron Corbin defeated Braun Breaker. And then the 3 big matches for all title matches, which I thought were all done well. Shout out to Trick Williams, who became the NXT North American champion. He beat Dom Mysterio.
Didn't he just lose it?
I was going to get to that.
Right back to Dominic Mysterio.
Unfortunately, he ended up losing the title back to Dominic Mysterio on last night.
That's racist.
On Tuesday night's episode of NXT, they had a rematch, and Dominic Mysterio, the numbers game played a part. Dominic Mysterio ended up retaining the NXT North American title. I will say this: I'm not mad behind the loss because I do like the title on Dom. I feel like Judgment Day is going to have all the gold. Keep it. I honestly think he should have never lost the title at No Mercy to begin with, but with all the hype surrounding Trick Williams, they wanted to strike while the match is. So at some point, Trick Williams will probably get the title back at some point. I don't know when, but at some point, it was a loss that was a win for Trick Williams. I don't think it's going to hurt him any. He does a lot of momentum. So I do it sucks that he only got a 3-day title reign, though. So shout out to Trick Williams, though. Also, Becky Lynch defeated Tiffany Stratton in a Extreme Rules match. Gotta shout out to Tiffany Stratton, who has only been in NXT for 2 years, but she's definitely been busting her ass. If you guys haven't been watching NXT lately with Tiffany Stratton has definitely been doing her thing, man. But she definitely impressed me on Saturday night against Becky Lynch. So it was quite a match they had. So definitely physical. Becky did suffer a cut on her arm. It was a laceration. It was a nasty cut she suffered on her arm. But I think she was supposed to defend the NXT Women's title against Tegan Nox on this past Monday night. But she wasn't clear. But she will end up having the match next Monday night.
She's supposed to have a match on Monday night at Halloween Havoc. She's supposed to defend the title.
Yes, she's going to defend the title against Lyra Valkyrie. Excuse me. I think I said her name. Lyra Valkyrie. She's defending her against the title against her. There's 2 nights to Halloween Havoc. Halloween Havoc is going to be on October 24th. And
there's 2 nights?
It's 2 nights. They announced it. It's going to be 2 nights. They do. It would just make sense to do Halloween Havoc on Halloween. But they decided to make it 2 parts. So part 1 is going to be on the 24th and part 2 is going to be on the 31st. Matches are incoming. And then in the main event of NXT No Mercy, Ilya Dragunov defeated Carmelo Hayes, in which, to me personally, is one of the match of the year candidates. That was a awesome match. Yo, shout out to Ilya Dragunov, man. We give Mysterio his flowers, give Dragunov his flowers. Dragunov has busted his ass the past couple of years. Give this man his flowers. I want to see Hayes walk away with the NXT title, but I know what's getting ready to happen with Hayes. So this is another instance where a loss is going to end up being a win for him.
Why is Lucas over there breathing like Kendrick Perkins?
Probably my damn fan in the background, honestly. But I was gonna say, can we say that Ilya Dragunov is probably involved in 2 of the most violent matches in NXT history?
Yes, but his style.
I still remember how his chest looked.
Oh, after Gunther.
Oh my god.
That's the first violent match. The second one happened on Saturday.
NXT, they faced off on an episode of NXT UK for the title, and then they faced off at NXT 36. We're dragging
35.
35, excuse me. No, it was 36.
It was 35.
I need to check. I gotta check. But anyways, Dragunov, his style, my man, is just, I like his style. It's an aggressive style. The dude just does not give up. I like his finisher. I like the name of the finisher, Torpedo Moscow. That's just, I like the name by itself as a finisher. But shout out to Dragunov, man, finally earning the NXT title. I hate that I had to come back Carmelo Hayes' expense because Hayes only had the title since April. He beat Braun Breaker at Stand and Deliver, but yet still, I think bigger things are coming for Carmelo Hayes, and I think he's going to end up joining this faction that Lashley has on SmackDown. But it's going to be a slow build. It's not going to happen immediately, so we'll see how that goes. So NXT is looking good right now. Speaking of NXT, big night planned for NXT next Tuesday night. Let me give the rundown real quick. I didn't pull it up, but I will pull it up on my phone right now because this information is also on the Wrestling Talk radio page. So y'all go ahead and subscribe so that way y'all get an update and everything in regards to keep everything updated. So let me go real quick and let me go over what's happening next Tuesday night on NXT. So next week we have Carmelo Hayes, who announced on NXT this past Tuesday night that John Cena is going to be in his corner. He's facing Braun Breaker one-on-one. And then we found out at the end of NXT that Paul Heyman is going to be in the corner of Braun Breaker. Big news. That's the main event for next week. That's big. Also, Roxanne Perez is going to be facing Asuka. Asuka's coming back to NXT next week. Also, Cody Rhodes is making a huge major announcement on NXT. There's rumors stating that he's probably going to end up announcing the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic that's in NXT. That's one of the rumors I've heard. So that might be why he's coming down to NXT to make that announcement. Don't know for sure. Might be something else. So that's going to be a big night. And the reason they're planning that big night is because we're going to bounce over to AEW now. AEW had their wrestling event on Sunday night, WrestleDream. WrestleDream was to me an okay show. Nothing like stood out in particular. It felt like most of the matches could have been Dynamite matches. Looking at some of the matches on the card, a lot of these matches definitely could have been Dynamite matches. So I would say, if anything, as far as pay-per-view matches, probably you could have just put 5 or 6 shows on this as a pay-per-view. Other than that, half the other matches were pretty much number one contender matches. I don't like number one contender matches on pay-per-views. That's just, it's dumb to me. Not a fan of it. I just don't like
unless it leads to like a big storyline between the two.
Or Money in the Bank or something like that. I just don't like number one contender matches on pay-per-views. It's just, unless it, like you said, unless it leads to a major storyline. Nothing stood out except the end of the show. It was Christian Cage versus Darby Allin in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the AEW TNT title. Christian Cage ended up retaining the title after Darby friend's friend, what's his friend's name? I forgot his name. Wayne something. Let me see.
Nick Wayne.
Nick Wayne turned on Darby Allin and cost Darby Allin the match. So afterwards, they beat him down. Sting comes out. He gets his ass whooped too. All of a sudden, the lights go out. They were getting ready to give Sting a concerto. Lights go out. There's this car that appears. It starts up and everything. And then all of a sudden, Adam Copeland appears. And if y'all know who Adam Copeland is, it is Edge. Formerly Edge in WWE. So he is now Adam Copeland in AEW. So he is now...
What else is fucking new?
He is now all elite. So he is now in AEW. He actually has his first match next Tuesday night. That one brings me to my next point in regards to the big show that NXT's doing. They're going head-to-head with Dynamite next week because Dynamite is actually coming on Tuesday night next week. And I believe this is because of the NHL next week.
Baseball playoffs.
The baseball playoffs, excuse me. Baseball playoffs. I know has hockey started yet?
Hockey starts Tuesday.
Hockey starts Tuesday. Damn, shit, everything's NBA.
Hawks open up against the Penguins.
Who gives a shit about hockey?
Nobody's talking to you.
Nobody cares about hockey.
Nobody's talking.
The only people that care about hockey is people who got hand jobs and cargos.
And nobody's gotten those since Nam. Oh, are we though? You definitely know what movie we're talking about though, which is
Yes.
funny. Yeah. So we're
Anyways,
stupid. We're stupid, but you know exactly where that
yeah,
movie's from. Fuck
yes,
you. How about that?
yes. Anyways, but yeah, so they're doing a big show. AEW is doing a huge Title Tuesday coming up. So because of the MLB players off TBS, they are going to be on TBS. So they are going head to head with NXT. Let me go over some of the matches they have for next Tuesday night for Dynamite. They
I've
got
been told WWE is desperate by bringing in John Cena on NXT. Are they though?
I don't think they're desperate. It's a big name.
Before you go any further, I just want to say they're not desperate. This is what AEW wanted. Y'all wanted war, and now the WWE's finally acknowledging y'all and retaliating.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm I'm okay with certain wrestlers going to NXT for an episode, but like John Cena and Paul Heyman, uh,
Here's
I
my
mean, you
thing.
kind of. I mean, honestly, I feel like you're kind of making it obvious that
We know
a
we
hold on. I kind of feel like you're making it obvious that that you feel that AEW is a competitor, and that you're acknowledging AEW. Why? Why? Well, actually, no, because AEW is
wrong.
the one that's moving their program to Tuesday.
Wrong. AEW exactly. AEW is moving their program
So
Tuesday. Two, Tony Khan and his stupid band of loyal virgin followers wanted this. This is what they wanted. They said, and Tony Khan even said this back in February. Oh, this is war. We want a war, and blah blah blah. All right, cool. You got it. Now I will say this: bringing John Cena to NXT does not make sense. But here's my thing, though. I'm all for it because Tuesday is Tony Khan's birthday. So what better way to be petty than stack the NXT card and say fuck you on your birthday? And to be honest, I agree. It's fuck dude at the end of the day. Fuck him and his cokehead tendencies and his loyal band of virgin followers. Fuck all of them.
I see what you're saying, Lucas, and I mean, when you put it that way, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I just kind of feel like, for when AAW first came out, and they came out on a Wednesday when NXT was coming out, we all said, hey, they're just going up against the developmental brand.
Now they're
You know
trying
what
to
I
make
mean?
it as a third brand.
Now they're trying to make it the third brand. So, but
Now here's another thing though. I will say this. I could see this as WWE kind of lobbying this episode of NXT to Warner Brothers, I think it is, who they're signing with for the next year, or USA or whoever, or wherever NXT is going to go after the end of this year.
I think NXT is leaving USA, right?
So where they going?
I don't
know. Wherever. But I'm saying
SmackDown was going to USA.
But I'm saying I think this episode of NXT is going to be like a tryout for whatever TV network they're trying to impress. I guess if that makes sense.
Okay. I didn't see in regards to. I got to read up more about it in regards to where they're where.
Well, we know Raw and NXT wherever network one of them chooses, the other one is going to follow suit. So
it still be Monday. You think it still be NXT on Tuesday nights?
I can see it. I don't see why not. Keep the same schedule. Monday Night Raw. Now I've seen articles where they're talking about moving Monday Night Raw to Tuesday nights, which would be a fucking travesty if you ask me. Imagine a world where there's no Monday Night Raw. Excuse me?
Imagine you want to move something off of something that's been a staple for 30 years.
And
you want to switch days? Come on now.
What blows my mind? You know what blows my mind is when I started to read more in depth on that article, and it said that they only want to move it off so it doesn't have to compete with, Monday Night Football and any other things like that. I'm like, they've been competing with them for 30 years. They know. They know from September to December.
There was a time Monday Night Raw was more watched than Monday Night Football.
Exactly. They forget that, and now it's like from September to December. Like, okay, cool. That's 4 months. WWE will still operate the 8 months that the NFL is not.
Right.
Yeah, there's some things that are standard. Like there's some things that's like moving Saturday Night Live to Wednesday night.
To Wednesday night, right? That makes it. It's called Monday Night Raw for a reason. Saturday Night Live for a reason. Facts, Keith.
Saturday Night Live come on Wednesday nights. You don't move a staple like that. I'm
sorry. The Bears scored again.
Yeah, Komet.
Not to be off topic, but
No, you're good. But nah, that's like you don't move. You know, no. Now SmackDown come on Tuesday night was odd. I hated that. I was not a fan of SmackDown on Tuesday night.
that was
I've never
weird.
had a problem with SmackDown on a Tuesday or a Thursday or a Friday. To
Mm-hmm.
me, I'm just saying my opinion. Me personally, I've always felt like SmackDown performed no matter what night they is. And for them to perform on a Friday night, where and you forget they was on Friday night for some years. You know what I mean? And to be, I mean, I'm talking about back in 2000. Was it 2005? 2000. They were still handling business, and they were just on network cable. So I don't have a problem with SmackDown. I actually was a fan when SmackDown went to Tuesdays. Because remember, SmackDown has always been on Tuesdays before they went live.
Right. I was about to add that. They
Remember,
used to tape SmackDown on
Remember, they used to
Tuesdays.
tape SmackDown on Tuesdays, and then they would play it on either Thursday or Friday.
Right.
So
It was always
I have no
pre-recorded.
problem with it, considering that's where they've always been.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though. You can't go back to pre-recording SmackDown ever again.
Oh, hell no. No, you can't go back to pre-recording anything.
No.
Now, hold on. A lot of shows do that, especially holidays, or like Monday Night.
Okay. Holidays, you get
Well,
the double decker
Tuesday
episodes. You get the double decker episodes for the fans, you know, that pay to go there and watch. But
I rarely watch.
that's the only time, really.
Raw on Christmas, I rarely watch it because I'll probably watch NBA.
I went to Raw on Christmas Day a couple years ago. It was here.
If I see the spoilers or something like that, I'll read it and I'll be like, well, I didn't need. This is not a Raw I need to necessarily watch. I was like, I'll just tune out and watch the game.
The fact that it was on Christmas Day here blew my mind. I was like, damn, Monday Night Raw on a Christmas Day? Bet.
Yeah, some of the wrestlers they weren't fans of that, but I'm like, okay, what do y'all want? I was like, it's gonna fall if it falls on a Monday night. I was like, what are they gonna do? They can't. What other night can they pre-record it?
Right.
You know, it's gotta be. And as an announcer, when shit was pre-recorded, how odd would that be? Because you gotta sound like you're live, but you're not live. It's gotta be like you can't say nothing wrong. Like you gotta say, oh, like coming up on tonight's show or something like that. But tonight's show was recorded like 3 days ago. So it's kind of like you can't fuck yourself over and just say something wrong. So, but yeah, they can't go back. Now, the only way, like I know NXT sometimes, especially when they do overseas shows, a lot of shows will be pre-recorded. That'll give a lot of the roster a lot of chance to travel and get back and get over to the other country. So you'll see a lot of stuff that's pre-recorded or whatever. So, but this day and era, that's the only time you will see pre-recording is when they do a show overseas or holidays. They'll probably pre-record. Other than that, you know. But yeah, SmackDown has been what, Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, Friday nights. Yeah, Raw.
It's always been Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday. One of the three.
I liked it on Thursday. I think it was on Thursday when I was in high school.
Can we bring back Saturday night's main event?
It started on Thursday, so I mean, we you know, but that's when it was recorded. Remember, we would have, but you also got to, hey Keith, you also got to remember when we were in high school. That's when WWF was at its peak. That's when they was just out blowing shit out the water. So
I liked it on a Thursday night because they got me hyped for the weekend.
On UPN?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
They got me hyped for the weekend because I was ready for like Friday. I was ready to either play in the game on Friday or chill with friends or whatever and everything. So,
but remember, because remember what made SmackDown so special around that time. I mean, it's still special now. But remember what made SmackDown so special around that time is because it had to piggyback off Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Because Raw was putting on great, I mean, I'm talking about memorable ass shows. So SmackDown had to piggyback off that. They were like, okay, well, Raw is putting on these shows, but we gotta come with the shit too. SmackDown. Me and Lucas talk about it all the time. I mean, I say from 2000 all the way until 2000 and maybe 9, SmackDown was running shit. But I'm sorry, peak years for me, SmackDown was 2000, 2001, the end of 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007 it went down. 2008 was the last that it was, you know, I feel like that it was because Raw was good at that time. So, you know, when the brand split, SmackDown really took off. It
Yeah,
took off when the brand
and
split happened.
that was the major reason they did the SmackDown as a second show because they had so much talent after Vince brought WCW. You had so much talent, and you had to wonder what can we do with so much talent. You got to give them like, what do you do? Like they were talking about making WCW a second show, putting them on after Raw, maybe before Raw.
They did them. They did them dirty. I don't care what nobody say. They did them dirty. They only gave them one shot, and you got to understand.
No, it was Bagwell's, wasn't it? Buff
It was
Bagwell
the
or something like
Bagwell
that.
Booker T. It was Bagwell versus Booker T. And I felt like they gave them a shit end of the stick because they didn't want to do nothing with WCW because first of all they could have worked with they could have the way they did ECW they could have did the same thing for Monday Nitro.
Yeah.
They could have did that. They could have gave WCW their own show. They didn't want to. Vince sabotaged that. Y'all know he did. He sabotaged that. That was on some bitter shit.
That was he spit in their face basically. He talked about
He did. He
He
did.
said I can do whatever fuck what I can do whatever fuck I want with this roster. I ain't gotta put y'all on TV. I can just
Facts.
I can have y'all sitting in catering, not doing shit. If I want to be that petty. But finally they ended up coming with the idea. Y'all gotta go watch it's on Peacock in regards to the Raw, the start of SmackDown and Raw. And growing up, when you saw a new show was gonna come out, you saw all these young stars pop up on SmackDown. And it's like, that's when SmackDown took off like a fucking rocket. I mean, that's when Edge, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio. And it's like every feud on SmackDown was important. Like, you didn't want to miss SmackDown because every single match I'm like, this is when Mysterio was high flying. This is when the Cruiserweight division was back in SmackDown.
I mean, you want to. I mean, we take it to Rey Mysterio. I'm talking about Brock Lesnar when he was the face. I'm talking about the world's greatest tag team, Team Angle, Kurt Angle,
And you got people during the show.
Edge, Eddie Guerrero, Los Guerreros, Chavo. Excuse me, Chavo. You forgot. Big Show was a big time at that time.
He just turned heel.
Remember, Big Show was running shit at that time.
For the 1000th time, he turned heel.
He just turned heel 5 minutes ago.
Hey, I think that was like the 7th time he turned at that time. But we get there. But no, like people don't understand when people say who was Brock's greatest feuds. People never throw the Big Show in there. People never. You forget Big Show was the first one to pin him.
And Big Show was the first one to make Paul Heyman turn on Brock Lesnar too.
Yep. Forget that.
People forget that. People forget that.
Facts.
They love to forget that part.
They do. I agree.
They forget that. But yeah, that was an era that I was a big fan of, man. Definitely growing up and watching SmackDown.
I go back and watch it all the time, man. I'm to be honest with you.
With the fist. Yes.
To be honest with you, I'm watching it right now. I'm watching old Raw now. I'm watching fam. I didn't went through the Attitude Era to the Ruthless Aggression Era to the PG era, and I'll stop and I'll come right back to the Attitude Era.
Chris, me and you know personally, we grew up through every single era. Ever since
we did the Golden Era. We went through the Golden Era. We went through the New Generation Era. We've been through it all.
These kids today don't know.
They don't.
Currently, they don't know back in the day how WWE was.
They don't know real.
You know the whole story.
No, and this is no disrespect to Lucas because Lucas comes from a wrestling family too. So hold on, I'm not on Lucas because
I started watching in '97.
Like
for anyone that wants,
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Lucas has been to more events growing up than I have. So I'm not gonna exempt Lucas on this. But what I will say is, y'all don't Keith. Now I'm not speaking of Keith. Y'all don't get, and we've said it on this show multiple times, and I know you're tired of me repeating, but you guys do not understand turning back and forth to TNT and the USA. You guys will never understand that. You guys don't get how tumultuous that shit was, man. So I'm talking about going back and forth. Whoever was on commercial, you was going back because you didn't want to miss shit. As much as WCW was trash from 2000 on, you still watched it because you did not want to miss nothing.
You didn't. And
When
it's like,
when I started watching,
Go ahead.
when I started watching in '97 or '98, I want to say I was 4 or 5 years old when I started watching.
Right.
So my mom and her brother, my uncle, had put me onto it. Now I'm not gonna say I remember, the gist of watching it when I was a kid. I will tell you this though. I do remember my uncle being over, and I remember his ass flipping back and forth from Raw and WCW. Because there was a point where my uncle would, be in the area, and he'd always come by and this and that, and he'd watch wrestling with me because he knew my mom got me into it. So I do vaguely remember him flipping back and forth between WCW and WWE every time.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's what it is.
nobody will really. Honestly, I will say this. Granted, I did grow up in the '90s, but I wish I was like how y'all were in the '90s.
Yeah, the way we experienced it was different, and you had to be there on a Monday night watching it. Like when watching, I'm talking about when they had everybody in the stands had signs,
No
different
cameras, no
signs,
nothing. There was
cameras.
thousands of signs everywhere.
Remember, this goes back to the pre days of social media. So we didn't know anything. We didn't know anything. We didn't know the spoilers. So when something happened live on television, the shit happened live on television. We didn't know. So anybody could come out and we never knew who it was. Now we live in a day and era where you can go online and you can see that, oh, so and so is going to make his return on SmackDown. It's not a surprise anymore. Now you know he's going to appear. So back in the day before social media, we were surprised about all this shit, and that shit was like it was not a smoke. So when somebody showed up on Monday Night Raw out of nowhere, we were like, oh shit, yo.
Reactions were natural back then. Reactions
I'm
were
glad
actually
you said that,
natural.
Keith. I'm piggybacking off of that. Now, Lucas, you understand why I'm big on the element of surprise because we didn't have.
Oh,
the
I am
internet.
too. I am
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I know. I know you are. But remember how I always say, "Well, I don't like this because they ruined the surprise." Because we didn't have social media back then. We didn't have the. We had to find a dirt sheet. Back here in Chicago,
You had to go on specific websites to try to
we
find the
didn't even know we
results.
couldn't do that. We had to find the dirt sheets in the newspaper out here in the Sun Times. So, like, if anything that you heard, they would try to tell you, well, you got to pay $1.99 per minute to call this hotline to find this shit out. And guess what? Greg and Van weren't doing that shit. They weren't allowing that shit. So, you know what I mean? So we got the element of surprise where, oh, this return happened. We didn't see it happening. Nowadays these kids don't get that. The people that's watching wrestling that's younger than us, they don't get that now. They don't get the glass breaks and oh my God, we didn't know Stone Cold was coming back. We didn't know that. They don't get to experience that. They didn't because you know what? It comes up on Bleacher Report. Hey, this wrestler just signed. He'll be here on Monday. This wrestler was signed. He will be here on Friday. Such and such is not injured anymore. He should be back in 2 weeks. We should not. Back in the day, we would not know Randy Orton's in the performance center. We would not know that. We would still be thinking, oh, he's just out.
Gargano returned on Monday Night Raw.
Gargano returned on Monday night.
Now we didn't know. Now,
we didn't.
I can say that was one I didn't know about. I didn't know Gargano was returning. So,
Look. I'm gonna say this right now. None of us knew. But I'm going to say this. The minute we saw Ciampa start getting beat down in the ring, let's not act like we didn't think that, oh, maybe this is the time he comes out.
We were hoping.
I didn't know.
We was hoping.
At some point, we knew Gargano was coming back, but we just didn't know. Now, the story behind Gargano, they don't know. They said they don't know if it was an injury or just WWE was waiting for the right time to bring him back.
That just plays into the part of where WWE can be very, very predictable for me sometimes.
Right.
But it was
I saw it coming. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm happy to see Johnny back. I'm happy to see DIY back. But I'm not gonna sit there and say that I had a oh shit, it's him. Reaction.
No,
like the minute I saw Ciampa getting his ass whooped in the ring 2-on-1, I'm like, okay, this is the perfect opportunity for somebody to make the save.
Yeah.
And we all know who that somebody was because obviously Ciampa had been looking for him. Where's Johnny? Putting up all the flyers.
So now DIY is coming back now as a tag team. So they'll probably go at it with Imperium. So
no, they're gonna take the tag titles. Watch.
This is why I keep saying, and I know I sound like a broken record. They need to separate the tag team titles. They got to. At some point, it's just so many tag teams on each show, and it's kind of like you're gonna have just one set of titles on everybody, and it's like, all right, at some point, they gotta be separated to give everybody a chance. Like I definitely would like. I want to see the Street Profits get the tag team title. I want to see DIY get the tag team. It's like everybody can't hold the title at the same time, but if you have legit two sets of titles, that gives more teams opportunity to go after the tag team titles. So that gives DIY a chance to go after the titles. Then you got the Street Profits can go after the titles on their show. So it keeps everybody separate, keeps things fresh. So that way, it's like you got more story. Because if you just keep the tag team titles on one team for so long, it's gonna get stale, and it's gonna be like, all right, they got both titles. What's the point? It's like now they're going back and forth to each show, but you got like 6 teams that are sitting here waiting in line like they had the DMV to get a title shot.
So I got a question for both of you.
Go ahead.
What do you guys? Okay, let me ask this: do you guys make anything of the fact that Paul Heyman is in Braun's corner next week?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I'll make a big deal anytime Paul Heyman's in somebody's corner. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I even back when he was in a corner of Ryback, I made a big deal about it.
Now let me ask you.
No, I didn't. I didn't for Curtis Axel. But what I will say is this: the reason why I kind of made a big deal about it is because the people that Paul Heyman has elevated, and I'm not just talking about in WWE. I'm speaking on ECW. I'm speaking when he was
everybody. Yeah, everybody.
I'm speaking when
Paul Heyman's been around the business
dangerously in WCW.
Paul Heyman's been around the business for a hot minute.
I just have that much confidence in him, I guess.
Wasn't he the Undertaker's manager in WCW?
Yes, he was. He was a skyscraper. Sure the fuck was. He was a part of the skyscrapers. Yes.
Right.
With Dangerous Dan Spivey and Sid Vicious.
All right. Let me ask you guys this question now, and it might be kind of a reach. Do you guys see Braun Breaker as a potential opponent for Roman Reigns, and this is why this is why Paul Heyman's in his corner?
Why not?
Okay, why not? Yeah, of course. Braun Breaker's a Steiner at the end of the day. However, is this the guy that they're gonna groom to beat Roman?
That's not on us. That's on Vince.
Right. That's not on Vince. But before we go any further with that, we know one dude in our group chat who would love that idea.
Yeah, he's a redhead ginger.
Shout out to Sheamus. But he's probably the biggest Braun Breaker fan in our whole group chat. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, he likes amateur wrestlers and shit like that. So
you can't go wrong with this.
He's a Chad Gable fan, and he likes
Shush!
Matt Riddle. He likes Matt Riddle. Remember, he also likes what's Chad Gable's partner's name?
Otis.
He likes him too. You know what I mean? So you got Ricky has explained to us multiple times that he likes sports, people that come from like that amateur background because he comes from that. You know what I mean? So
right.
Which I respect. So it just doesn't work out for him. It just doesn't work out for him a lot because sometimes he feels that because you come from an amateur background, that means you should be pushed. And I disagree with that. Because you gotta understand, if you're not marketable and you cannot get a crowd, then I don't care what you do. Brock Lesnar come from an amateur background. That's what. But yes. But listen, hold on. Shelton Benjamin come from Charlie Haas come from all that.
Yes, of course.
I can't say Charlie Haas wasn't respected at all.
No, he was not. No, he was not.
Call him a champion.
I love that.
You know, it's crazy, Chris. Now that you say that, nobody really did give Charlie Haas his flowers. Nobody ever did. They always gave it to Shelton Benjamin, only because he branched off as a better solo competitor. Shelton Benjamin, yes, was better. He was, but that's not Charlie Haas's fault at the end of the day either.
By Shawn Michaels in midair.
Yeah, until they stuck Charlie Haas in a fucking storyline with that queer bag Rico.
Oh,
sorry.
You
Look
so
so
good to me. Oh, oh,
Don't make me find it.
oh, my
Don't make me find it.
baby.
Don't make me find it. Don't make me find it.
I'm just saying.
Don't
I'm
make me
just
find
saying.
it.
We never gave Charlie Haas his flowers.
Hey,
He should have gotten his flowers. He should have been a solo champ. I'm pretty sure he won the tag titles with Rico at one point. Whatever.
you
That's
did.
beside the fact.
Hey,
That's beside the
see,
fact.
you talk about top five shit. Top five theme songs, god dang it.
Facts.
We got
Facts.
Because that's one of them.
Hey, I gotta find it now. See, y'all don't.
That's
piss
one of
me
the
off
best
now.
entrance. We pissed you off. Please, you should thank us for making you remember that song, sir. Good to me. That's that shit.
Man, that shit was hot.
That shit was hot.
Hey, but you ain't gonna play the OG Barry White Sexual Chocolate though.
I'm out of here.
You cannot tell me Barry White didn't sing that damn theme song.
Barry
You
White
cannot
sang that
tell me
shit.
to this day.
But here's my thing. It's the fact that you sit here all these years later and you, because here's my thing. I see Mark Henry as the ass kicker. I don't see him as that. I see him as somebody gonna get their ass whooped.
Man, listen, Mark Henry.
And here
was
you
getting
go,
cootie.
and here you go, and here you go.
Mark Henry was out here getting cat.
He was out here getting Granny Poo Nanny. That's what he was out here getting.
Hey, hold on, whoa, no, hold on, wait. You forget when Godfather gave him the hoes, he was coming in one by one.
Hey, nobody forgot about that. Nobody forgot about that.
Hey, yeah, he did knock up Mae Young.
I'm just saying, he smashed Mae Young. That man was out there for Granny Poo Nanny at one point.
Hey, he smashed Terry Reynolds though.
Facts. But she was smashing the whole locker room back in the day, so it don't matter. She gave everybody a turn.
Tell me that's not Barry White.
Terry gave everybody a turn, so you can't really count her. She's dismissed for being a hoe.
Hey, let this ride real quick.
All right, y'all have your moment. I'll be right back.
My man said, "My love is growing."
That sound like him from Rose Sex in the Champagne Room.
Cause my love is showing. Ooh, and I want it just you and I. I'll show you won't deny.
Shit you play on the radio station late at night at midnight. Like.
Hey, I used to ride that. I used to bump that in the car. Don't lie. I'm not gonna lie to you.
There's a lot of songs that on WWE that go bump. You can make a soundtrack.
Hey, that's a booty cut. That's a booty cut.
That sounds like something you leave on the answer machine back in 1991. I can't pick up the phone right now. Please leave your name and message. I'll return your phone call as soon as possible.
Hey, that's definitely a song you put on your voicemail. Facts.
Voicemail back in 1995.
Hey, that's definitely a song you put on your voicemail. Hey, leave me a message. I'll get right back to you.
Give me a message.
Yeah.
You know the number.
You know what to do after the beat.
You know, say turn the lights down with you and your lady and everything.
Back. Hey, roll up a joint. Hey, watch how he hit this part. Watch how he hit this part.
Oh, it's not over yet, huh? Okay, all right.
Hey, did you hear the way he hit that part?
Yeah,
I came here to turn my camera back off.
Oh, man.
Hey, Lucas, I don't know. Hey, Lucas, you definitely should be the one that have this as your theme song.
Oh, snap. That's what Lucas wanted.
That's my theme song walking into the gym.
How you go from sexual assault to somebody go get their ass kicked? That's two different styles.
Hey, you got to reinvent yourself somehow.
Oh,
Facts.
yes.
Hit him up. And it was 3-6 Mafia, too. That's dope.
I remember they performed that song on SmackDown. Mark Henry came
SmackDown,
out.
they did.
Mark Henry came out and looked at them and thought to himself, "Man, this is my shit right here." I would have thought the same thing.
I like when a band comes and performs a theme song for and then you see the wrestler walk out and you see the wrestler come out and acknowledge the band, and he looks at him like, yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
I'm telling you like this. Motorhead is the only one. Motorhead did the best job.
Yes.
Motorhead did it, and Motorhead did their thing in WrestleMania 17. Yes. I don't care what nobody say.
WrestleMania 21 was better.
Nobody say.
WrestleMania 21 was better.
17 was better.
No, WrestleMania 17 was better. No. Motorhead coming up for
no. 17 was much better.
17.
I only say hold on. No. Hold on.
Lucas, I only say 21 was better. Time, that's when Triple H just changed it to it's all about the game. Exactly. And I get hyped up hearing that I just get hyped up hearing time to play the game. But when Motorhead came out and did that, and well, like he said, and when the wrestler acknowledged the band, he was acknowledging the shit out of Motorhead. And I was like,
okay, he was doing that at WrestleMania 21 as well. And here's the difference.
Hold on.
Here's the difference. He walked into 21 as the champion. He didn't walk in as shit at 17.
Because he didn't have to. He didn't have to.
Y'all got it.
He didn't have to. He clearly had the second best match.
Y'all got it.
Next to The Rock and Austin.
Y'all got it. Next.
Sorry, Lucas. I can't agree with you on this one, big
Y'all got it. Y'all got it.
Best live band.
I'll go back and rewatch it, but 21 is still better because he walked in as champ, acknowledged them, as like y'all said.
But 17 was hotter though.
21, 21
whatever y'all say.
Cold.
Whatever y'all say.
21 was cold. I am
whatever
not
y'all
lie
say.
To you. But I can't let go of 17, dog.
Y'all got it.
I don't mean no disrespect, D.
I'm just saying, y'all got it. 21 is still...
we can agree. Both of them was great. Remember, both of them was great. Both of them was memorable. So
hey, I only give 21 the slight edge only because he walked in as champ. That's it.
I doesn't matter what he was a champ or not. Because
and might I add the main fucking event of WrestleMania.
So what?
Just saying.
So what?
Okay.
Last match of the night, main event, done and done.
The only reason why
main event, mid card of the match, mid match of the card. Come on now. Right. I'd rather be main event coming out to Motorhead.
All right, with that being said,
just me.
Now, Chris got you got an NWA update.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I do have an NWA update. Hold on, let me get my notes. Big dog. Hold on.
He said, let me get my. He said, let me get my imaginary notes in my head real quick. Head ass.
We're gonna acknowledge every wrestling organization up here outside of WWE, AEW.
Can we acknowledge MLW and GC? Head ass. No, I'm playing.
So
those are the actual minor leagues.
Ricky is our New Japan Pro Wrestling expert.
Ricky's too cool to hang out with us now.
So Ricky's too cool for school.
Ricky barely talks to me anymore. Sad face.
Ricky's too cool. Ricky's meanwhile going on trips over Europe into Europe, and drinking the finest of beers and eating the finest of food. So
Sir, I'm gonna correct you right there. There is no such thing as fine beer in Europe. It is all shit. It is equally shit, just like it is out here. Okay.
Ricky has joined. I don't think Ricky has been on the show in how long. But Ricky, we need you to have it back on for NWA.
Ricky barely is in the group chat. What you mean?
I know. So I try to keep y'all updated with New Japan, but there's not really been anything updated with New Japan. I know, as far as I know, the only thing that's been updated was the G1 Climax finished, which Okada did not win, surprisingly. I can't believe he didn't win. And actually, he got pinned in the final of the G1 Climax. So I forgot to do
good.
So, but yeah, well, Chris, you want to give us in regards to a little? You want to fill us in on NWA first, or you just want to give us an update what's going on currently, or just like overall with NWA? I'll leave that up to you. If he's still there, Champ.
I said,
let me get my notes. There?
Let me get my notes.
You gotta get your notes. Take your time.
He said, "Is Champ there?"
Is Champ there?
He said, "I'm trying to reach Champ." Say, who's champ?
One of the funniest prank calls of all time, man. That shit has me dying laughing years later.
And one of the best gifts ever.
Okay. Let me hold it up to the camera a little bit more.
As you guys know,
Okay.
this is going to be kind of brief, not too many, not much. As you guys know, NWA is not televised; it is YouTube. So right now we have EC3 as the NWA heavyweight championship, as the heavyweight champion. Um, and then we have so right
Sir,
now.
listen. I'm sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
I'll be right back. Hold on. Keep talking. I'll be right back.
He said, I'm going to make myself clear. That's probably his all-time best skit. It was one of the first ones ever. This shit is hilarious.
Oh my god.
I totally forgot about it. And then like a month and a half ago, one of my homies, shout out to my homie Harvey, he called me on the phone and we were chit-chatting, and then he asked me if I remembered it. And then I had to like think briefly, and then I went and rewatched it again, and I died laughing and forgot how funny that skit was.
Oh shit.
He said, bring your media cameras if you want some truth. Jasper!
So right now, the big
Sorry.
like, even though y'all know EC3 is the heavyweight champion, right now the big thing is not big thing, no homo, but the big thing is the tag team championships. And Blunt Force Trauma, who's actually managed by Damian Sandow, is like they look like authors of pain, and they're
Fake ass Miz
right now. So that's the big thing going on right now. I wish I could give y'all a lot more, but my notes aren't great. But that big thing right now is authors of I call them the fake authors of pain, but that's the big thing going on right now. And Damian Sandow is killing it as a manager.
Yo, speaking of the authors of pain, I don't know how true this is, but I saw some shit the other day on Twitter that said they're trying to make a WWE comeback.
Bro, I saw it too.
Don't know how true it is.
I saw it.
How would y'all feel if they were to be brought back?
I'm all for it.
I'm all for it if you use them right.
I'm all for it. Yeah, me too. I agree.
I'm all for it if you use them the fucking right way. That's it. Exactly. Make them like Kane and Big Show back in the day. Make them like that dominant.
I like it. I totally agree. I'm cool with that.
I'd be all for them coming back. Like I said, just don't fucking misuse them. Just use them properly in tag team storylines.
I agree.
Make them the dominant tag team that they once were in NXT back in the day.
I agree.
And I'm sure that's all people would ask for. People like me, you, and even Chris, because I know he used to fuck with them back in the day too.
I agree. Their run at NXT was amazing. Their match against DIY. Well, we're gonna get to DIY in regards to our topic.
I think them getting rid of Paul Ellering as soon as they got called up to the main roster really screwed them.
That was a big mistake, and they got involved with Seth Rollins. I remember that storyline.
And like
right before 2020, which
don't
I want to discuss.
Right. Don't get me wrong though. I could see why I heard and read that like Paul Ellering was trying to go on like a part-time schedule.
Yo, Phil's head hit hard as hell.
He's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So he's fine. That's a hard ass hit. Anyways, we digress. But anyways, yeah, I would be all bring him back. Don't put him in NXT. Keep him out of NXT.
Oh.
Keep him out of NXT. Put him on the main roster. I can definitely see them on. I can see them on SmackDown, man. I could definitely see them on SmackDown. Put them.
I wouldn't mind that.
I wouldn't mind that. Raw, I feel like you got the Viking Raiders over there, and I don't want to put them and Authors of Pain on the same Raw. I'll put them on SmackDown. I need to see a dominant team on SmackDown. I miss the old days of tag team wrestling, like pure tag team wrestling. I'm not a fan of old school. I hate when they put just two random wrestlers together and put them on one team. I don't like that. I'm not a fan.
It's just weird.
It's just weird. I don't like two single wrestlers being brought together and I know y'all gonna get at me when you say, "Well, DIY is two separate wrestlers." Yeah,
no, but they came up as a tag team though. That's the difference.
They came up as a tag team.
Now, here's the thing: throwing two random wrestlers as a tag team is fine under the circumstance that one is eventually going to betray the other, and it's going to lead to a storyline. But let's be real now. How many times have we fucking seen that?
And we see it every year.
Every year we see it.
And it's getting ready to happen with Adam Cole and MJF over in AEW with the Ring.
It'll probably happen with Christian and Luchasaurus or whatever the fuck that dinosaur's name is. Right. That's the thing I need to address too. I need AEW nerds to stop acting like, oh, WWE has the worst gimmicks. I'm sorry, AEW is a fucking dinosaur. Stop it.
I like Luchasaurus.
I do too. But I need motherfuckers to keep that same energy and stop being hypocrites.
But I miss, and Chris, I know you can vouch for me for this too. I miss the old days of pure tag team wrestlers, like just smoking guns.
Yeah,
like pure.
Yeah,
I don't like when me and Lucas say I don't like when two wrestlers are throwing together.
But the only pure tag teams we have is FTR.
Yeah.
And the Usos.
Don't forget Brad Maddox and Xavier Woods. I'm sorry. Did that strike a nerve?
So Brad Maddox should have been a part of the New Day, huh?
New Day. No, wait. They did the chant while they were doing it too. New Day Ross. New Day Ross.
I'm sorry, y'all. I ain't shit. My bad.
Trey had a knife.
Trey had a knife. And Paige had a threesome. Sorry, I chose violence today, as y'all can see.
All right, Chris, was you done with the NW? I'm sorry, my bad, man. We went off track.
Yeah, I said I didn't have my notes more prepared for this tonight, so that's my fault.
You good. What's up? Okay, let me ask you a few questions and everything, because I need to get caught up with NWA myself. I know we discussed in the group chat. You said there was no mid-card title in NWA. Is that correct, or was there a television title?
No, the television title is the woman's title.
Okay.
It's the woman's title.
So they're one of the rare companies that actually have a mid-card title for a woman. Do they actually have a women's champion?
They do have a women's champion, but the television title is for women.
Okay.
They also have they brought back the United States tag titles.
Okay. And you said
I remember people don't remember that.
What time does this come on YouTube so people that want to watch?
It doesn't give us. It comes on. Hold on. It comes on like Wednesdays. I want to say Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Okay. Now, are there pay-per-views? Do they got are they like aired like like WWE and AEW pay-per-views or?
They come on Tuesdays.
Okay, I definitely want to check them out so I can get more familiarized with them because I definitely want to see what they're about. So I definitely want to. I'll definitely tune in on YouTube because I definitely want to see what's going on with that so I can catch myself on and everything. And I apologize if I don't provide as many updates with NWA, everyone. So
you should be sorry.
No, you're fine.
You should be sorry.
I just I want to keep everybody abreast to what's going on and everything. And I know a lot of fans just see the same old wrestling organization and everything like that. But
that's fine though.
If there's nothing that's really going on, there's nothing really to report. So I don't want to put something out there and it's just like if somebody faces somebody, it's not like the only thing that's significant happened, like Chris just said, was EC3 just won the title. That was pretty much the only significant thing that's happened. So I put that up there. I think I posted it up on the Wrestling Talk radio page. That was pretty much the only thing that happened. So, anyways, let's get to the main event topic of the week. Betrayals that we never saw coming in in wrestling history overall. We did hit. This is kind of like heel turns, but it's kind of like heel turns. Some of the turns you saw coming. But we're talking about, and Lucas brought this up in the group chat. But top betrayals we never saw coming. I'm
sorry, like shit that you never ever fucking saw coming in WWE.
I didn't get a list. I'm sorry.
Hulk Hogan turning on WCW.
I didn't see that. Now,
Seth Rollins turning on the Shield.
I saw that.
I thought it'd be Dean Ambrose In
I
all
thought it'd be
honesty,
Ambrose too. I thought it'd be Ambrose.
True.
I thought it'd be Dean
True.
Ambrose. I thought it was going to
True.
be Ambrose. Triple H turning on Shawn Michaels. Never would have saw that coming.
I didn't see that too, but but I felt like they kind of planted the seed back when Triple H took over DX.
That happened what, 2001?
No, 1998. But you
1998.
forget Shawn Michaels retired.
No, I'm saying like the actual betrayal happened what, 2001 or 2002?
2002.
Okay, so I was 9. All right.
Lucas, you're gonna hate me. Gargano and Ciampa.
I didn't see that either.
I was there live. And honestly, I don't know if I ever told you guys this, but as I was walking out of the arena that night with my homie James, and we had a buddy of ours that we played Call of Duty with. He flew in from California that weekend. That was like one of those where you meet your online gaming homie type shit. And he's a WWE fan too, so he came out here for NXT, and he saw Jinder win the title live too. He saw Jinder win the title live.
The goats.
But we went to NXT TakeOver that night before at Chicago, the first one, and I physically saw some dude throw his DIY shirt into the trash after the pay-per-view.
It's still real, damn it.
It was real to him that night for sure.
When they show that little thing, what's the thing at the bottom of the
The
screen?
watermark, the little watermark. That's Johnny Gargano's worst enemy right there.
When you see that pop up on NXT television or NXT TakeOver, you already know.
Just know the show's not over yet.
There's some shit is about to happen.
Some shit is about to go
I
down.
remember when Adam Cole and them debuted. When they showed up, when they debuted in NXT.
Stop.
What? When they attacked Drew McIntyre?
No, because it's so funny how that night transpired for me. Because I was working at iPick, the fancy movie theater that's close by me, and I got called into work that night, and I'm like, damn, man, TakeOver Brooklyn is tonight. So I was like, all right, if I'm gonna go work, then I don't know if you'll recall, but I had turned off. This is before we had our group chat started. We were in Kings of Wrestling or DNA, I can't recall, but one of the two. But I had turned off all notifications from like my phone. I wasn't answering nobody's text message. I wasn't reading shit the whole night. I got home at 10 that night from work. Or no, scratch that. I got home at midnight, close to midnight, at 11:30. And I turned on NXT TakeOver at like 11:45, and I watched it all the way till 2:30 in the morning. I was texting my homie James that I just referred to, because he was working too. By some miracle, we both finished work at the same time, and we got home and turned on the pay-per-view at the same time. So we're like, fuck it, we'll just watch and just text each other the whole time. It's like 2:30 in the morning, Keith. I'm done watching it. I text him. I'm like, damn, no Adam Cole, because the rumors have been swirling that whole week that he was going to show up. I'm like, damn, no Adam Cole. Next thing I know, I see the crowd going crazy in the background. And mind you, like I said, it's 2:30 in the morning, and I see Adam Cole and them jump him, and I'm like, I'm trying my best not to scream because everybody in the house is sleeping already. But yeah, that's how my night went that night. I that was the one and only time where I told myself, I'm not going on social media. I'm not checking nothing. I'm not responding to nobody. Like, I'm not checking my phone type shit. Like, I really did not check my phone from 7 till 3 a.m. that night.
The signs were there because O'Reilly appeared in NXT. And then
So did Fish. They jumped. They jumped. What's it called? Sanity and AOP.
So they were individual. Then I was like, well.
No, they were they showed up as a tag team. Those two did.
Then Ring of Honor, I was like, okay, now they leave Ring of Honor. So I said, okay, the next name that's going to fall behind, I said, it's got to be Adam Cole. And I was like, now, I said, when will Adam Cole come up?
It had to be that same night.
It was that same night he
showed up. It had to be that same night.
It was that same night he showed up.
And like,
okay, but back to Betrayal. So
and like once I saw hold on real quick, I just want to add this. Like, once I saw Fish and O'Reilly show up like earlier in the night, I'm like, damn, those are Adam Cole's boys. So I was trying to like put two and two together, and I was like, okay, if they showed up, somebody else has to be in the building.
That's almost like you. That's like me and Chris showed up, and then we were like, Well, we know Lucas is not far behind.
Nope.
And then all of a sudden, like, we come up with all black mask and everything. Next thing you know, we reveal ourselves as you, me, Chris, Ricky. We're like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Yo, that'd be a great way to make a debut, yo.
Hey, Chris, can I say this though? We got to go back to St. Louis. It was a fun ass fucking weekend. It's probably my favorite weekend ever, honestly.
Y'all doing? I know we talked about this before. Y'all doing Survivor Series this year?
Chris and I talked about it earlier on the phone actually today.
Survivor Series Wednesday, Saturday. Is there anything else coming that weekend?
Michigan and Ohio State.
Yeah.
SmackDown will be here. SmackDown will be there that Friday. So it'll be SmackDown Friday, literally the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday. It'll be SmackDown and then Survivor Series the day after.
Great Thanksgiving weekend ahead of y'all, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
And if Michigan loses and if Michigan beats us again this year, then Chris knows I'm gonna be drinking my ass off that day.
Who is this that commented? Bobby Rhodes, go blue.
Our homie.
That's our brother.
That's the reason Chris and I are best friends,
Bobby,
basically.
I don't know you, but I don't like that comment, bro.
What did he say?
He said, "Go blue."
Go blue. No, bro. Buckeyes Nation.
Bob's an LSU fan, so don't take him serious. He's just trolling. He's just trolling.
Thanks for tuning in, man. Thank you, Bobby, for tuning in, man.
Yeah, like I said, he's the reason Chris and I are as close as we are.
That's what's up, man. I know y'all got your whole crew out there in Chi-Town, man, so I know all y'all connected and everything, so.
Mm-hmm.
He said, Bobby said, don't get fired up. Oh, that's a good one, man. Bobby, thanks for tuning in, man. Let's see what other betrayals that I'm trying to think of that I ain't seen coming. I'm trying to think. There was a bunch of them in the 90s.
Michael Cole betraying Jerry the King Lawler on the commentary table. Sorry.
Hey, people don't give that his props. Michael Cole wasn't bad as a heel.
Nah, he was funny. He said, and I quote. That shit used to be funny. He said, hey, Chris Jericho told him, he said, shut up, we know you have an email, just read it, you idiot. Chris Jericho fried him that night for no reason.
What's the other one I'm trying to think of? I didn't see betrayals I didn't see coming. Let's see. I'm trying to think of something that was happening in WCW. I know we mentioned Hulk Hogan when he turned on NW. That as a kid, yo, when you saw that as a kid, it's like you grew up like in Lucas. Like I said, there's no disrespect to you. Me and Chris grew up seeing red and yellow Hulk Hogan. Eat your vitamins. Get strong, brother. This was the all-American G.I. Joe hero. Well, no, he was a G.I. Joe, but I'm saying he was the all-American hero and everything. And all of a sudden, now he's a bad guy. We were sitting there like, oh, now he's evil. Like,
he said, now he's a bad guy.
It's like, now he's a bad guy now. It's like, as you're a kid growing up, like you're 11, 12 years old, you'd be like, Hulk Hogan's a bad guy now? What? And that's when you started to think, like, in your head, like, what would happen if all the good guys turned bad? And then you start seeing this shit happen, like Bret Hart when he turned heel. I would never think, I'm like, well, Bret Hart's a heel now? I'm like, damn, I would never see this coming. It's like, what's another betrayal I'm trying to think? Okay, it's not a betrayal, but it's more of like when the Rock turned heel.
Kane betraying the Undertaker, Survivor Series.
That was you knew that was gonna happen.
I knew that was happening. I knew that was happening.
Ain't nobody. I'm sorry. I think a 5-year-old would have knew that.
Right.
What about when the Undertaker turned on Jim Ross?
Yeah, when he made Jim Ross kiss Vince's ass.
Yes, that's when.
Yeah,
I didn't see that one coming.
I didn't see that coming either. I didn't see that coming.
Because he returned as the American. Didn't he come in the ring and whoop everybody's ass?
Remember that whole episode. It was leading up to it because remember him and Vince got into it. That was right after Survivor Series. And remember he wanted a title shot and stuff like that.
Would you consider Kurt Angle turning on Team Alliance?
Yes.
No,
I didn't see that
because they alluded to it.
They alluded. I didn't know it was gonna be Kurt Angle though.
I did.
I didn't think it was gonna be Kurt.
Remember Vince said it.
Yeah, he said it. I remember watching the lead up to Survivor Series 2001. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all gotta do y'all.
It's one of the best. It's one of the best.
One of the best, yeah.
It's honestly that storyline, like from what was it, August all the way to November.
We did a show on that too.
We did.
We did a show.
But like for those,
we need to go follow up on that show.
for those couple months though, it was probably one of the best times to be a wrestling fan.
I loved it. I was a senior in high. I remember it happened. That's the year 9/11 happened.
I remember.
Yeah, 9/11 happened. Yeah.
I remember my mom, me, my brother, my uncle. Like we had a whole living room at our old house full of people watching that pay-per-view too. And once Kurt Angle came out and smacked Austin with the belt, we all went crazy.
That was one of the moments I love the build-up all the way to the storyline because now it's kind
of
the
build-up was great and the payoff was even better.
You got to see WCW guys versus WWF guys, and I loved it. It's like you're getting drink. But when they did the story on Peacock, when they showed the invasion storyline, everybody was like, "Well, so and so didn't show up." But everybody's contract with Time Warner at the time, like Kevin Nash said, "I stayed at home and collected my paper."
Right.
Coming to WWF. He said, I stayed at home and I let my contract run out and I stayed at home and collected paper. So they said you didn't see a lot of those guys when they came up to do the invasion storyline, and a lot of those guys didn't come up. So instead of getting Sting, Goldberg,
there's no way he stepped out of bounds.
You got Sean Stasiak.
Yeah, he did. He's gonna fuck around and have 200 yards, G.
Who that?
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore. I'm not playing anybody in fantasy. They got him too, so I'm good. I ain't got nobody I'm facing who is in this game right now currently, so I'm all right. So, but yeah, the invasion storyline, you didn't see a lot of the big names come up until like almost a year later, and yet still.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Because Rey Mysterio didn't come up to 2000, and I think when we discussed the storyline, we were talking about what if Triple H never got hurt, because if y'all remember,
that's when he tore his quad. That's when he tore his quad.
And we always said, what would have happened?
How do you guys think he would have fit in that storyline, though?
That's a great question, man. How do you let's revisit that? How do you think Triple H would have fit in the storyline? Do you think he would have joined the alliance?
No. I think he would have. I think personally, he would have been on the team over Big Show.
Who?
Triple H.
Absolutely.
Kane, it would have been Kane, Undertaker, Triple H, Rock, and who else? Who else was it?
But wait a minute.
Chris Jericho.
Jericho, that's who it was. Yeah, it would have been them five.
Hold on, but hold on, whoa.
Go ahead.
I believe had some of those wrestlers not waited till their contract and Time Warner went out, and like they came back, and Triple H didn't get hurt, Austin wouldn't have turned.
No,
he wouldn't have
because WCW would have had some. Yeah, exactly.
They'd have had everybody.
It would have been straight up battle of WWF versus WCW.
Imagine
absolutely.
At Survivor Series, if everybody showed up and everybody was healthy, that could have been one of the biggest 5-on-5 matches in wrestling history.
Running with AEW right now and have WWE squash them.
Let's do it right now. Who would have been the 5 on Team WWF? If everybody was healthy.
Right now?
No. Let's go back to 2001.
Oh, I thought you said main roster right now. I was gonna say I got 5 for you.
We'll get to that too. Let's talk about. Let's go back to 2001. Who would have been on Team WWF if everybody was healthy?
Kane, Undertaker, Triple H, Rock, and Jericho. That would have been Team WWF.
Now, wait, are we talking about if Austin didn't change?
If Austin didn't change, it's Austin stayed in WWF.
Oh, Austin, Rock, Triple H, Undertaker, and Kane.
Look at that lineup, y'all. Look at that lineup. Look at that.
Yeah, Jericho would have gotten the boot from that for sure.
Okay, he would have had no choice. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Who's on Team WCW?
Nash.
Nash.
Hogan.
Goldberg. Sting. Hall.
The whole NWO. Hogan and Goldberg.
Or Ric Flair.
DDP?
No, fuck no.
No Diamond Dallas Page?
No, hell no. Over the NWO, Goldberg, really?
No Booker T?
He's an honorable mention. But who would you put over Booker? Who would you put?
I would take Scott Hall off.
Okay, I could see that.
I don't
So
know.
you'd have Booker T, Hogan, Nash, Goldberg, and Sting.
Okay, say that again. Say that again. I got to think in my mind. Say that again.
Scott. Okay, so it'd be Booker T, Hogan, Nash, Sting, and Goldberg. Yeah,
Yeah, I'd be cool with it.
I'd be cool with that 5 too.
I'd be cool with that 5. Yo, that 5-on-5 match would have been.
That would have been great.
Yo, that'd have been a great.
Who's the first one eliminated from that match?
From WWE standpoint, it would be Kane.
That'd be Kane.
From WCW standpoint, it would have been Hall.
Who do you think on TW would have teased join the alliance?
Would have teased?
Jericho.
Triple H.
I say Triple H.
Triple H.
I only say that because of the Stephanie McMahon factor.
Yeah.
But hold on, Stephanie McMahon wouldn't have been the alliance leader.
Would have been the alliance.
Paul Heyman would have been. Shane McMahon would have been, but not Stephanie.
No.
Because you want to know why? She would have had to turn on Triple H prior to that.
True.
Facts.
True. Now, with that being said, will we have seen stars like Edge born during that time?
Yeah. Yeah, of course we would. Yeah, we still would have seen stars born like Edge and oh, come on, you overthrew him. But anyways, yeah, we still would have saw the same. We still would have saw the X Factor. We still would have saw we still would have saw Jeff Hardy versus Rob Van Dam. We still would have saw. Oh shit, we didn't include that ECW in that.
Yeah, that's true.
We didn't even include ECW.
ECW, well, Ron Van Dam was in the match. He was part of the damn. Who would you have put in ECW in the match? Now you got to take somebody back out.
Depends on who would have came. No homo.
We would have had some dream matches, man.
Depends on who would have came.
Healthy, man.
Hey, that 5-on-5 would have had to be expanded to 6-on-6. No lie.
Or Lucas, they might would have had to done a traditional Survivor Series match and had 2 of them.
I think you would have
done
a Survivor Series match.
Facts.
Honestly, there's too much talent.
And then the second one could have been Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, who else? Big Show.
Then they had a battle royal. What was it? What's the name? I'm trying to think of the name for that they did. Immortality. I forgot the name. It was a battle royal they had that no matter who won, you was gonna keep your job.
Yeah, the immunity, the one that Test won.
Yeah, Test won that. Yeah, Test won. So Test was gonna keep his job no matter what.
Right.
Yeah. So, but man, that Invasion Stanley, y'all had to go back there. Go watch the early days of the Invasion. I like when they first entered. I remember when the WCW, when Vince McMahon bought and Shane McMahon showed up in Panama Beach, Florida, and he said the name on the contract reads
Reed McMahon.
But it reads Shane McMahon. Bro, when I tell you, I was watching WCW. I remember that night that happened. I remember that night it happened. And I was watching WCW live, and Shane McMahon showed up. I was like, what the hell is he doing there? And I was like, Shane McMahon is on WC. I was like, whoa. Wait a minute, what's going on? I was sitting there like, yo. I was sitting in my couch like, what is going on? What's about to happen? Yo, what a time to be alive when you was a fan back in the day, man. That was
back then. You had no idea.
You didn't.
You had no idea. That was the best part of it, man. It was just exciting because you had no idea what was about to happen, man. And then everybody was speculating like, oh, great, man. So we get ready to get Booker T in WWE. We get ready to see Goldberg. And then they came and we got the lower tier of WCW come over in regards to that. So I was sitting there.
I can't say that.
Well, not lower tier, but I was just sitting there as a fan. You're expecting somebody else, and then you like, okay, where is Goldberg? Where is so and so? I like when DDP debuted. I like when he was
with the Undertaker.
I didn't. I thought they really disrespected DDP.
Yeah,
I think they did. To have him be a pervert, I thought that doesn't. To me, that just didn't make any sense. Like, I honestly believe this is where they could have made DDP should have fought The Rock.
Oh yeah.
Remember, DDP was the People's Champion in WCW. That was his moniker.
So let me ask you a
Yeah.
question: who benefited the most from the Invasion storyline? If you had to say, which star?
Nobody. Nobody.
Not even Booker
Nobody.
T.
Rob Van Dam?
Not even Booker T.
No.
No.
Because you forget, Booker T
He
was
lost
but
he lost the WCW title in a 2-on-1 match with his advantage.
I think no, because you know what? Because they put Booker T into comedic roles. You know, remember they put him with Goldust after that, and then
Yeah.
you know, I mean, him and Austin had that nice feud, but you know, they never parlayed into nothing. They didn't fight each other at no pay per view.
Booker.
Yeah, but that was 5 years later.
King Booker.
DDP, he was out after that. Remember, he won the European title, and then he went into the whole. And that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing.
Chris Kanyon, they were the WCW Tag Team Champions.
Chris Kanyon was messed, but Chris Kanyon has some shit messing wrong with him. He was messed up.
I remember Undertaker and Kane beat them inside of a steel cage match at SummerSlam 2000.
Oh, they beat. Yeah, remember they beat the shit. That was a squash match. It was a squash.
They beat the shit out of him. Undertaker's last ride. That move was the elevated power bomb. I used to love that finish. I'm a fan of the Tombstone Power Driver, but the last ride was a low key. I love that move, man. Yeah, that was a squash match, man. But man, y'all definitely got. I remember The Rock versus Booker T SummerSlam 2002.
With Shane McMahon, don't forget him.
Yep. It was just odd seeing The Rock with the WCW title. I had to get used to that shit to see a WCW title in WWE, like the United States title. It was weird seeing that. Like, I had to get used to that. It's almost like somebody would walk in WWE with the AEW title. That shit it would look weird, man. That's the one thing I did like about the Invasion storyline. You got to take all those titles from WCW and incorporate them into WWE. So you end up getting.
I mean, they found a way to do it and it worked.
Yeah, you get.
What worked?
Incorporating the WCW titles into WWE.
For the time being.
I thought it was done poorly. Not done poorly, but it wasn't. But that's more. But I blame more of that on WCW and Vince. Vince was too gung ho, and he wanted to pull the trigger that quick. He could have waited a year to do the Invasion.
Yeah.
And then WCW, and I understand.
I agree.
Huh?
I agree.
But then WCW, from their standpoint, I understand they wanted to collect their money. Like Booker T said, he wanted to work. So I get that part. Booker T wanted to work. Also, it didn't help that Sean Stasiak went on the radio days before and told everybody what was going to happen.
So that was the beginning of the spoiler alert.
Yeah. So that's why WCW was in the stands in WrestleMania. You know they were supposed to come out at WrestleMania and interfere in a match.
Was it Dean Malenko? Was it Malenko that was part? Not Malenko.
No, it was Sean Stasiak that went on the radio because he went back to WCW at the time, and he told everybody what was going to happen.
Okay. Yeah, that was a time to be alive, man. Definitely a time to be alive, man. So
when wrestling was just like I said, you had to have that's when you had to have your TV on wrestling, bro.
You couldn't miss a thing.
You couldn't miss shit.
And you had one TV, man. All you got to do is go back and forth. Soon, Raw came on at 8 o'clock. No. Nitro came on at 8. Raw came on at 9 o'clock. And then as soon as Raw came on, you got the remote in your hand and be like, all right, as soon as WCW goes commercial, I'm going to USA.
Bro, I was flicking back and forth. It didn't matter commercial. I didn't care. Everybody was getting flicked back and forth.
Bro, let me tell y'all want to experience anxiety? That's anxiety when you were like 9, 10 years old, flipping back and forth because don't miss something. Because you had no rewind button on the TV.
Right. No rewind, no pause, no record.
So when it happened, you missed it.
There was no DVR.
Now, WCW did come on. They did come on again at 11 o'clock. So I remember when I was out of school, like the next day, or like it was spring break or something, I could go back and watch WCW like the last hour of it because if I miss anything from watching Raw, I could go back and watch the other hour of WCW so I can get filled in. It was a nightmare. I swear. I was like going back and forth. Y'all don't know. You had to be there to end up going back and forth between both shows, man. It was definitely it was. But you know what? It was the greatest time alive to be a wrestling fan, man. I'm telling you, and everything. This is
It really
why
was. It really was.
it was a great time to be a wrestler, and that's why I tell everybody this is why I'm a wrestling fan today. I love the product. I grew up watching. I've been a wrestling fan since I was 6 years old. I love watching wrestling. I'm going back all the way to the Coliseum home video days. I remember going to movie time on Friday nights and
Oh
getting the pay per
my
view,
gosh.
sitting there and watching the old pay per views on Coliseum home video with Pizza Hut, and just sitting there watching it. It was just a great time to be alive with the wrestling, and like you grew up watching the old gimmicks when it was cartoonish and Doink the Clown, the Bushwhackers, and the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, and then it got more. I feel like it got more mature as you got older, and then you hit 1996, 97. That's when the product started to get a little bit more adult version. Then you had the Attitude Era. So it was a joy just growing up from all the way back from the 90s all the way up until now to see how much wrestling has evolved over the years. And and that's why I tell everybody, I'm like, and I always ask people when they watch, I was like, what made you a wrestling fan? Like, what was that one moment where you said, I'm gonna watch this shit for the rest of my life? You gotta use that one moment. Is it a match you watched and everything? Is it
Uh,
a match? Is it a wrestler? Is it a moment that happened? It's gotta be for everybody. It's gotta be that one thing that made you a wrestling fan, man. That's the one thing. And that's why I love. That's why we love talking wrestling, man. This is why we love it. Sports, wrestling. This is why I created this forum, man. Ultimately, I wanted y'all to talk wrestling with me.
Facts.
Yeah, I wanted y'all to talk wrestling with me. This is why I created this show, man. It's fun sitting in a group chat with a lot of people that had to say. And this goes all the way back when Trey created DNA, and he invited me because. Matter of fact, when I was watching wrestling back a couple years ago, and I had nobody to talk about it with, I'm like, well, damn, I would love to talk about what happened on NXT or Raw or something like that. And then Trey invited me, and Trey said, "Oh, yo, this is a whole group of wrestling fans." And I saw Chris, Lucas, and everything. I'm like, fam, this is where I was born to be at. I'm like, all these dudes in here talking shit about wrestling. I said, I love it. I said, I love it. And then I got put in so many other groups. I was put in Frontline, and then I went to Kings of Wrestling, and it just, I was like, I love these dudes because all they want to do is talk wrestling. It's like, it's hard to find that same group of people that
Oh
love
wow.
sports. What's up?
Bears just. Oh, never mind. It was a 2 point attempt.
All right, guys, I gotta leave. I gotta get my kids to sleep, bro.
All
I'm out
right,
to
man.
y'all
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
group
we were
chat.
pretty much done. We went off
Yeah,
topic
let's say
there
we
with
got to
all
wrap it
that
up
stuff.
anyway.
Anyways, but yo, Chris is out. Lucas, anything you want to say before we leave? I'm gonna wrap it up by myself, so I'll
No
leave y'all alone
sir.
for a minute too.
No sir. You know how it is. It's fuck all of y'all per usual.
Let's go, Commanders.
And on that note, y'all have a good night. I'm gonna go watch the rest of this Bears game, and hopefully I don't throw up at the end of the night because we fucking blow the lead. So y'all have a good night.
I'll wait, dog. Deuces, man.
Deuces, my brother.
All right, y'all. So let's wrap this up, man. Another episode of Wrestling Talk Radio is in the books. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. As always, make sure y'all go follow my socials. Make sure y'all like us on Facebook. Make sure y'all like us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter as well. I'll keep everything updated with the latest and greatest in wrestling. Shout out to Lucas and Chris for joining me again for another great episode of Wrestling Talk Radio. This weekend is WWE Fastlane live on the Peacock, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. I didn't even go some of the matches. We started talking for so long. Let me just do a quick rundown for y'all in regards to the matches. Judgment Day is going to be defending the Undisputed Tag Team titles against Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. We also got the Latino World Order, Rey Mysterio, Santos Escobar, and either Walking Wild or Cruz del Toro versus Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. 6-man tag. Io Sky versus Asuka versus Charlotte Flair is a triple threat match for the WWE Women's Championship. Seth Rollins is going to be defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura in a last man standing match. This has been an awesome rivalry, man. So if y'all haven't seen how this is viewed, they actually had a good match at the last pay-per-view. So if y'all haven't seen their matches, they have great chemistry. I've been loving the way they've been booking Nakamura as a great heel. I love it. So definitely check that match out. It's a last man standing match, so it's definitely going to be an awesome match. The main event, John Cena and LA Knight versus the Bloodline, Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa. So that's 5 matches. I'm sure they're probably going to add. I remember SmackDown's tomorrow night, so they might announce 1 or 2 more matches for the show. But as of right now, they got 5 matches, which is pretty much how they've been doing with the pay per views. They made every match have a big field fight to it. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. So make sure y'all tune in on Fastlane Saturday night, 8 o'clock on Peacock Premium Live events. So make sure y'all check that out. AEW is kind of, they just did WrestleDream. Their next pay per view is going to be Full Gear November 18th, live on pay per view. I did share, I was doing the promo for this show, and the news broke live as I was watching this show. Jay White will face MJF for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship at Full Gear. So the main event is locked in for Full Gear. More matches will be coming. Make sure y'all keep in tune to the Wrestling Talk Radio page, the Facebook page, and Instagram, so y'all can get updates when more matches are added. I will try to keep that updated as much as possible. Make sure y'all tune in for that. That's it for me. Just want to go over that with y'all. Apologize if the show ran over and we go off track, but that's how we do. We're big fans of wrestling, man. So I'm going to sign off. Man, I hope y'all have a great weekend. Take care of each other. Rest in peace, Mom Dukes. Rest in peace, Ness. I love y'all from the bottom of my heart. I miss y'all. Wish y'all will stay here. Y'all know every show I think about y'all, and every show is always going to be dedicated to y'all memory. So definitely, man. Thank y'all. As we always say here at Wrestling Talk Radio, we're not just wrestling fans. We're wrestling fans. Y'all have a good night. Great weekend. Y'all take care of yourselves. I'll see you on the other side. Deuces.